Hey guys, so this is my project for abnormal psychology on Mona Vanderwaal. Okay, so here's a little bit of background information on her. So, Mona Vanderwaal is a reoccurring character on the Pretty Little Liars TV show and book series. She is characterized as being smart, popular, beautiful, mysterious, and self conscious. She has this way about her that you can easily see in the show. She's just carries herself at such a high regard, and she sees herself in a great way. She's very self-reliable. She knows what she's capable of, and if she's capable of it, she'll do it. So I'm just going to go through a few of the relationships that she has that impact my diagnosis. So, Mona and Allison. In middle school and the beginning of high school, Mona was an outcast. At school, she didn't have any friends, but all she wanted was to be Allison De Laurentiis' friend. But Allison bullied and rejected Mona in every way she could. Allison even gave her the nickname Loser Mona to put her in her place. For those of you who don't watch the show, Allison is a very mean and cruel person at the beginning of the series. She's very hateful towards other people other than her four friends, Aria, Hannah, Spencer, and Emily. And she's still even mean to them. But Allison she thinks she's the center of everyone's world. And so she believes that she has authority over them. Allison even makes her four other friends, Aria, Hannah, Spencer, and Emily, ignore Mona, and they all grow to hate her. They just outcast her so much. All Mona wants is to be their friend. In one episode, Allison and Aria are walking down the street, and you see Mona a little bit behind them, and they're like, "Hey guys, wait up for me!" And Allison tells Aria to run, and so they run away from Mona, leaving her alone. And that just shows you how narcissistic and pessimistic Allison is. Mona and Hannah. So Allison disappears, like, out of nowhere, and no one knows what's happened to her or where she is. But whenever this happens, Hannah and Mona grow very close because Hannah drifts away from her old friends 100% and relies on Mona for everything. So Hannah, Spencer, Emily, and Aria are no longer friends after this. They associate with each other, but they're not friends anymore, really. Because that was such a weird experience. Because Allison was their ringleader and kept them all together like glue. Without her, they just separated because they didn't know what to do. Mona and Hannah, after Allison disappears, both get extreme makeovers and become the most popular girls in school. Prior to that, they were both outcasts, and they were both. Mona was an outcast from Allison's group, which consisted of Hannah, but Hannah was an outcast within that group. And so they both reinvent themselves and find a way to live like in their skin because they were very uncomfortable before. And their favorite activity to do together is shoplifting, which says a lot about their relationship. Okay, so for those of you who do not watch the show, A is let me tell you. A is this person that starts to bully the girls, bully Emily, Aria, Hannah, and Spencer, and like it's crazy. So shortly after Allison's body is found, this is 2 years after Allison disappeared. So these girls were not together for a whole 2 years. So they grew apart. But what brings them together is Allison's death. Well, Allison's body being found because they all begin to receive text messages from A. And these messages are menacing, omnipotent, and scary. Like, A threatens to do anything and everything. A has threatened to run you over with a car, kill you, expose a secret, just plain old hurt you, and even hurt a family member. And what's weird is that A seems to know all of the girls' secrets. And they even know things they told Allison. And, like, the girls are so confused as to how anyone would know that, but somehow A does. A can be characterized as vicious, ruthless, and never-ending. It seems like everywhere the girls go, A always finds a way to be there. And while A is torturing the girls, they're trying to figure out who it is, but they can never find out. Whenever they think they're hot on a trail, they follow it and don't find anything. The stalking and cyberbullying gets worse over time. It progresses from just plain old text messages to letters, packages, and even gifts left in the girls' houses. By gifts, I mean, one time A left Arya a tongue to tell her to hold her tongue, otherwise she would get hers cut out. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but, hold on. Okay, what A is trying to do is show superiority and power. A is trying to show the girls that I control your life. You have to listen to me for everything. And this just really gets on the girls' nerves because they can't do anything about it. They tried going to the police, but nothing happened. And here are just a few examples of some threats and messages A has left the girls. This bottom right, in the picture in the bottom right corner, that is actually written on Hannah's cast when A ran her over with the car. Yeah, A is definitely ruthless and never ending. A doesn't stop ever. A just keeps going and going and going, scaring the girls. So, if you have not gotten past season 2 on the TV show, just leave right now. There's major spoilers, and I do not want to spoil anything for anyone. Okay? So, in the season 2 finale, it is revealed that Mona is A. It is also revealed later in the series that Allison, before her disappearance, was stalked by A. And it blows the girls' minds because Hannah's been friends with Mona for over 2 years. And Arya, Emily, and Spencer, they still associate with Mona, and it's weird that a classmate of theirs did this to them. Mona originally became A to make sure that Hannah stayed at her friend. Mona was worried that whenever Allison's body was found, that Hannah would leave her and just go back to her old friends, and it would go back to the way it was. And Mona didn't want that to happen because she'd experienced so much rejection from Allison that she wanted to keep Hannah close to her. And Mona became very resentful and angry towards the other girls for taking Hannah away from her. So she continued the threats. And by taking away, I mean Hannah and Mona weren't best friends anymore, but they still associated with each other. The aftermath. Once it is discovered that Mona was A, she was sent to Radley's Sanitarium, a mental institution created to help people struggling with psychological disorders. So Mona stays in Radley for 5 months until they believe she is ready to get back to normal life. These messages from A briefly end for like half an episode, and then they pop back up. And the girls are concerned and scared and worried because they thought A was gone. Mona is in Radley. How can she be doing this? And so the girls come to a conclusion that Mona had help during her time as being A. So the person that was helping her must have a connection with her somehow so they can still talk over everything. In the episode where Hannah goes to visit Mona in Radley, Mona is very bleak and dull, and she doesn't even look like she knows what's going on. Knows what's going on, but the thing is she does. She pushes everything down, and she's just dark and depressed while she's in there because she doesn't know. She doesn't want to really think about what happened. So Mona's diagnosis. Hold on, that's not okay. Oh wait, that's too many. Okay, so for Mona, I found that she could possibly have 4 things, which are antisocial personality disorder, paranoid personality disorder, DID, and OCD. And I think each of these has really, whenever you go into them, they really show how events that happen in your life can affect you. And so this little clip art in the bottom right corner, I don't know if you can see it, but on one side is Mona as, not as Radley, or not in Radley, but she has all of her makeup off and she has her hair's crazy. She's not wearing good clothes. She's in the dark side, and then the other side is what she shows to people, and it says everyone has a dark side. That's very relevant to this project, so I thought I should include it. So, an antisocial personality disorder, there are well-established maladaptive ways of behaving that negatively affect people's ability to function. And people with this personality disorder have little regard for others' people's feelings. They don't care if they hurt them or are rude to them. They just don't feel anything. And they view the world as a hostile place where they need to look out for themselves. They're in a sense paranoid. They think everyone is out to get them. They're scared that someone's going to hurt them. And so they just become so involved within themselves that they go crazy. Well, not go crazy. They become so involved with themselves and keeping themselves safe that they forget what else is out there. They forget their life. And one of the interesting things, the facts I found was that criminals manifest a high incidence of antisocial personality disorder. Yeah. Mona. So I believe Mona has this, or partially has this, because Mona feels no remorse at all for being A and hurting the girls in the ways that she did. She did apologize to Hannah because she said that's who hurt her the most to do it. But still, it's still hard for her. And everything that she experienced from Allison impacted her feelings towards the world and other people. Like I said before, Allison brutally, not hurt, but bullied Mona. And so Mona has to push down all of her dark feelings inside herself, and just on the outside make it rainbows and kittens and unicorns. Yeah. And then paranoid personality disorder. This can be characterized as someone who is always feeling persecuted. They always think someone's out to get them. They have a tendency to blame others, and they're very cold and humorless. Mona definitely portrays some of these symptoms because she always feels like someone is out to get her. Always. She's always looking behind her, locking her door. She's always scared for her safety. And also, she doesn't feel bad for being A, at all. She said, I believe, honestly, that she would do it again if she had to. I don't know if it's going. Okay. Wait. Okay, DID. So, dissociative identity disorder is when one person has multiple personalities. And Mona created an alternate identity to hurt Allison, just for the sole purpose of hurting Allison. And that just shows how unstable Mona really is, because she doesn't even know how to handle her anger and rejection in a way that's safe. She took it upon her own. She took matters into her own hands to punish Allison. And then OCD consists of persistent unwanted thoughts that cause you to feel the need to engage in a particular activity. Mona is obsessed with punishing Allison for what she did. Mona feels like Allison should pay for everything. And these obsessions are so intense that she created A. That's just to make sure Allison was hurt. Well, that's the end. I hope you enjoyed. If I can exit out of this. Great. I hope you enjoyed.